Let's go. Give it up. Jay Gutta. Who is Jay Gutta on Instagram? New England's own, one of the top performers out of the Northeast of the United States of America. This is the Ryan Show FM special presentation where we're teaming up with the Hue Jackson Foundation to bring awareness to human trafficking. This is your host, Ryan Vernell, and as always, I'm joined by Hampton's Dave. And tonight, we have one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time joining us. And it's finally that time right now. Vitor Belfort is in the house. That's right. Give it up. Vitor Belfort, one of the greatest ever. And not just Vitor, but Kim Diemert, the lovely private investigator and head of the Hue Jackson Foundation, has returned. And Mac Daddy as well, who I'm sure is incredibly excited. Before we ask Vitor anything, I got to ask Mac Daddy. Mac Daddy, how does it feel to be around one of your favorite fighters of all time?
I'm absolutely thrilled. Thanks for having me here, Vitor. It's an honor to meet you, and I'm glad we could have you on this platform to speak about the things we need to speak about.
Hey, it's a pleasure, man. It's so good to be here with you guys, and as you guys know, me and my wife, we have a fitness gym. It's a franchise, and we've been dealing with the horrific tragedy that my sister's been missing since 2004. And we always we wanted to not just have a business. We like to have a business has to have a cause. I believe that everything we do, we got to have a purpose. That's how we are living our life today. And we teach our kids, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? So the purpose of our business is to provide for the people that don't have the support and people they don't have food at their table. So the name of the nonprofit is called Together for Them. It's finding the missing and feeding the hungry. That's the two biggest cause that I think, if you can point me, what's the worst cause, the worst things in the world? I think these two things, you starve. Some people starve to death. I think we shouldn't allow this to happen. And the other thing is this sex traffic, human traffic. It's growing so much, and it's just terrific to see that we're not doing anything to stop that and create prevention. The most important thing is preventing other people to do it. So I'm all for prevention.
And that's really all you can do is use your platform to bring and spread awareness. And that's covering all those basic human rights that are needed,
preventing the knowledge out,
and getting people fed. Two basic causes why people choose to live this evil life and find whatever means necessary to make money is a lot of times because they don't have food. So, it kind of all comes full circle. And it's unimaginable what you and your family have been through and your connection, how close this is to you. And it's something that it's such an uncomfortable situation and topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about it. So it does take people to really step up and speak about it. So that being said, what in 2021 have you and your foundation done to further your goals?
So we just opened because we trying to connect with a lot of foundations. And when my wife was looking for the ones and we could not find if they're too big, they're too small, and I believe that the ones that are very unique is the ones that literally have a cause in their life. I think it got to be unique. It's for those people to be more sympathized with the cause, you got to go through the cause. It's like this. I always said, imagine you worshiping a God that never went in your body and who never felt the emotions that you have in your body. So being a Christian for me, it's very simple. Jesus was a man. He was in my flesh. He felt anger. He felt thirsty. He felt hungry. So he had felt all the emotions. And now he knows and he can understand my feelings. Say, you got to put yourself in somebody's shoes before you judge them or you help them. So that being said, is right now we in 2021 we fed more. We give 23,000 meals for the people that in COVID situation here in Florida. We are doing a nonprofit next week with the what's the name of the company? AOR, OUR. So OUR is a huge Team Ballot is involved in sex trafficking. So we're doing like a thing inside my gym. We're gonna create a awareness. And as I was talking to Hue Jackson, I said, Coach, he explained me his situation, how he got involved, why he got involved. I said, you are coach. You was one of the best definition as a head coach, as a man who's understand performance, and he understand he's been dealing with this in his own life. So that being said, he's much more sincere, is much more honest, is much more. I can see the effect. And I told him, I said, my dream is as a connector. I think I'm a connector, and my nonprofit is only as good if I'm relating to those who are much more older than ours, who understand the cause, who's fighting with the cause. So there is no me. We cannot say, oh, mine is mine. I don't like that word mine. I like the way we. Yeah. And when you flip the letter M, becomes W, I like it's that. A winner. I love to win. Yeah. To win in my career, I love to win. But also to win, we got to become we got to become one.
Yeah.
It takes a team.
It's like a real collective consciousness that we all kind of got to be on the same page. I can't tell if he's frozen or I'm frozen or what's going on.
I think we're good on our end. But yeah, it just takes, it takes a collective group effort, especially for this, like to raise awareness.
Because we need to be aware of the signs of what's happening. It's like Kim said earlier in the evening, prevention is really what we can do to stop it immediately, as long as we're aware.
Absolutely. And, just as a time filler, not just as a time filler, but just as in sharing information, one thing that we are very fortunate for in our country is that we do have more cooperation within our judicial system, with our law enforcement system, and with our non-governmental organizations and not-for-profit organizations that want to work together for this collectively. Unlike some other countries, it's much more difficult for a variety of reasons. Some of it may be because of political or law enforcement corruption. Some of it may be because they just don't have the financial or socioeconomic support systems that they need there to help families such as his when they go through these horrible life events.
And it seems to all be interconnected. Sorry to interrupt, but it just seems to be interconnected. Even though something might be happening in another country, it doesn't mean that it won't trickle down over here, or one of the girls won't be sent over here, or whatever it is that's going on. It seems like more deeper connection than just country by country. Like it's more of a global network in a lot of these situations. So awareness, like Vitor said, and everybody being on the same page and having that level of understanding to being able to prevent this type of behavior from happening and seeing it while it's going down. So yeah, very good point, Vitor.
And it looks like Vitor is back. And I'm not trying to steal your show here, Ryan, but I know how important it is for us from our perspective and when we work with families and family reunification. And again, as I mentioned before, being a private investigator and the agencies that I connect together here within the United States, it's important for us to understand what the family dynamics are like for those who are like Vitor's family, who are trying to come to terms with what's happened with their loved one. If you could share with the audience what it really means to you to have cooperation from complete strangers, people that you don't know, who share the same mission as you and your family, in trying to not only recover somebody who is very much loved and is missing, but what it feels like to continue to go throughout your day-to-day life knowing that you still have unanswered questions.
It seems like he's going in and out, right?
Great question, though, Kim. Definitely very. I was going to say, steal the show. Yeah. Might as well make you co-host at this point.
Handing it over.
Yeah, I think it, depending on the hotel he's in the Houston area, he might be having some reception difficulties. I do know that we have an organization in Houston, Texas, quite specifically, that we have a great partnership with. And as the Hue Jackson Foundation, our goal is to make connections throughout the country so that as individuals who are in a variety of states need assistance, we all work together. And that's the crux, as Vitor was saying, that it's not a me, it's not our foundation, it's not our organization, it's a global issue, and it's a humanitarian matter that all of us need to work together collectively in one unison, and not as an individual trying to combat this thing. It's too big for one person. It's too big for one organization.
And dangerous.
I agree 100%. I'm back now. So I want to answer your question. It's I'm sorry we were in and out, but I think now we're good. You guys can hear me good now?
Loud and clear.
So it's just the point of your pain becomes a solution of somebody else. When my sister got missing, and it's been years, 17 years, it's like was in the beginning of the stage. Is like when you have a missing person in your family, it's like you're burying that person every day. And I want you to understand the problem is we don't have the foundations today. They're not built to help. How can we help the family that stay? And I remember one time I had to share this with my mom. Said, "Listen, Mom, my sister must be missing, but I'm losing you. You have to start living your life because I'm here and my sister's not here, but you living like I'm not here." And it's a hard pain, but it's a process. So we need to help these people navigating, and it's more as a mental effect and emotion effect as well. So I feel like we don't have a lot of people. They don't have these people that are dealing with this. They're the unknowing, and the cause is huge. It's big. We need to go after this sex trafficking, human traffic. It's huge, a huge traffic industries out there, and we can combat them with very easy now because we have the technologies in our favor. We have all the social media. So it's not a hard thing to do. We have the Amber Alert. It's a great thing, but we don't have, we should have the Amber Alert in social media. It's very easy because it's so much easy if we work together as a unity, as a team, that the number one cause is always prevention, create prevention. The number two is like, how can we bring most of these people back? And number three is how can we recover them? If now we know, they already know that when you put all these girls in the same house, it's sometimes they go back to live their life because that's all they know. Now they are addicted to that. They go, some go back to their pimp, to their back life. So, and how you stop sex trafficking, combat the porn industry. And the porn industry is just growing more because people are addicted to porn, just they're addicted to drug. So for me, it's I have, like, in my mind, I say I have how we can stop and move this to grow. But eventually these are growing because people are consuming porn. People don't care about working as a team to create that. Okay, create prevention, number one. Number two, how can we bring these people back? Number three, it's when we bring them back, how can we recover them? So they already know if they put all these girls in one house, they end up going back to their life. But if we put them separate in a regular house, they can start having their mind, established to become normal. So that's the fight. I think that's the fight that I want to be involved, and I want to bring awareness, work as we create everybody together, working with the president of the country. So how can we stop these things to grow? So America, for example, is the biggest consumer of sex trafficking, and that's sad. That's sad to know that.
You made such a good point about the porn. You don't think about like all these like little weirdos sitting there on their computer on the dark web. You mentioned
it normalizes it almost.
It not only normalizes it, but that's why they have the ability to go out and make billions of dollars because of the streaming behind it. And even if you might feel like you're not guilty and you're not taking part in the literal kidnapping and pimping and exploitation, if you're consuming or watching any of this, you're just as guilty because you're perpetuating it.
Yep. So we need to, especially now, we need to teach people. I think for decades we're not. So the obligation of a family is to teach your kid, not just to be successful, have money and this. It's more important to understand that it's life doesn't work without God. Life without work without understanding that you have a purpose, the purpose to make this world better, the purpose of respecting and love others like you love you. So the love, it's a huge thing. So I don't believe you can sustain anything without knowing that you have to have accountability with a higher force, a higher ground, higher level. So you cannot respect your mother and your father if you don't understand that has someone who's higher than them. So that's number one. And number two is, how can I sustain a healthy society if we all are not teaching our kids what is sex? So sex is something
Good
that
point.
has to be teaching people. So right now you having all this Netflix, shows, soap opera, Hollywood, teaching our kids how to consume sex, how to adapt to sex. So porn, you have all type of porn, and porn is being in a lot of things that is PEG. This is a PG movie. It is not. It's not PG. They are desensitize our kids with some things that they don't need to know.
It's a good point.
And
Desensitizing.
yeah. So the sensitization is everywhere now, and that's why I think people they don't know who they are. Hey, who am I? And that's a question that I would say. If you don't know who you are, you cannot live a healthy, supporting a good cause.
And that starts with the parents at home, not leaving it up to Netflix
Yep.
to teach their kids about sex. And it's uncomfortable. It's just like anything else. For you to have any type of growth in life, you have to go through an uncomfortable set of circumstances sometimes. So to all the parents that are out there listening right now, the birds and the bees, it's an important conversation you need to have. Although I might have to wait a few years because my son's only one.
Yeah, guess what, Ryan? They are, they have a logo. The pedophiles, they put logos everywhere. In a lot of cartoons, they have the same logo for pedophilia. It's in cartoons now.
What
You gotta
logo
watch
is that?
It's the good humor.
It's like a
It's a
logo. It's like a
It's a heart, right? With the circle.
It's-
I know good humor.
yes.
So you say that now, does that mean that there is bigger forces than we can
So-
see that are putting this into the cartoons, or?
Think right now. Right now is important. People they have a patent of a logo with the pedophilia.
It's
So pedophilia,
it's the good humor
it's a
logo.
disease. They're everywhere. So they have everywhere, man. And I mean, unfortunately, we have so many high level people. They are pedophiles in every area, in judicial area, in politician area, in sports. The
Entertainment.
pedophiles are everywhere. Yeah, entertainings. So how are we gonna combat this if the people over there in their chairs, they're trying to protect these pedophiles? So it's hard. It's a huge scam. So
Now, Vitor, have you seen this in person, or is there any documented proof of any of these things? Because I'm sure that there's some listeners out there that might hear this and think, oh, this could be a big conspiracy theory.
no,
So,
just look how society is today, man.
yeah.
People are fighting for genders and this and that. Let's fight for being human. Let's
Yeah.
all support each other. People are trying to we gotta support this. What about supporting? Stopping these families are suffering from this. What about the gender of family? Family is being destroyed. The value of a family is being destroyed. And as a parent, I have a voice. As a father, I have a voice. As my wife, as a mother, has a voice. But the family is being destroyed. The value of a family, it's being destroyed. And no one is not saying nothing. Why? Because we have a huge voice out there. Let's support this. Let's all respect each other. And that's it. Let's stop. So, what is a racist? Being racist, it's being anything that can be racist. When
Yeah.
you don't respect someone, not just for the colors, the entity. So many things involved with this that we are fighting for the wrong cause and we're supporting the wrong cause.
Well, Vitor, how do we get these guys? How do we stop these guys? Like, you mentioned these big higher ups in the judges, people that are politicians in these places of power. How do we call them out as just regular people? We're not in that big club.
One person that is a good friend of mine is a brother in Christ. His name is Jocko. His sister was a champion of South Africa, this American Idol from South
Okay.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got 6 years in sex trafficking. So they got her back. Now she's back, but she's still dealing with the issue, but she has a family. So he's fighting big time. And he told me, Victor, you don't understand. Another day we had the cops ready to go to this house in Texas. They're ready to go and bust this house. The pedophiles were there, the people were there, and the judge look into my face, say, I'm not gonna give you permission. These girls are prostitutes. And he said, this girl is 12 years old. 12 years old. And the judge told him, this is a prostitute. Can you imagine a judge?
Insane.
Yeah.
He delayed the order. When they went there, they're already gone. So how corrupt this is. A judge telling the guy that 12-year-old she's a prostitute. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah,
how you
despicable.
assume 12 years old?
And people voted him in.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful, man. When you're making decisions, to say the power of a choice, we always have a power of we always have power of choice. The problem with choosing to choose first thing, if you're buying porn, if you're consuming porn, you are supporting sex trafficking. That's it. Bottom line.
And that's any porn, like whether it's Pornhub, because we got a lot of listeners out there on Pornhub and all these other places.
If you're on a strip club, you're supporting porn. What about that? If you own, like Mayweather owns a tons of strip clubs in Las Vegas. If you are a supporter of a strip club, you are supporting sex trafficking. That's it.
Well, I never looked at it that way, but I guess it kind of does make it easier for people to commit these acts when it's normalized and you can just access other videos kind of that nature right on the internet.
So remember when you used to buy cigar? It was like you have this cowboy, this guy was nice, he was handsome, the cowboy. Now when you buy a cigar, you don't see a cowboy anymore. What do you see behind a cigar?
What do you see?
Like when you buy a cigar.
Oh, the warning labels or whatever.
Yeah. You now you escape. So when you consume porn, if you want to sell porn, if you want to sell a strip club, you cannot have a naked woman anymore. You cannot have you gotta have a black target said, slave of trafficking. That's how you support. It's a slave of sex. That's how you promote your strip club. You cannot put a girl. You gotta create like a black mark, say slave of sex. Come enjoy. Can you go inside if you see that?
Some people will, just like some people smoke cigarettes, though. That's
but you see, will not be so pleasurable.
No, of course not.
When you drive in Las Vegas, you see all these half naked women. Hey, come. We know that is a naked woman inside. Oh, they're dancing, but you cannot touch. So they're supporting the sex trafficking industry for sure because they're consuming sex. They're selling sex in a way. You can see the woman dancing, but you cannot touch the woman. She can provoke this, but you can. So how can you be legal? This is if you consuming this, now we have to put if I'm in power and I could choose, okay, now you want to be involved in strip clubs or whatever. Okay, you cannot sell the sensuality anymore. You're gonna have to put, because you support the industry of sex trafficking, the consumers. So how many women are dancing and are there because they need the money or they're slave for their pimps or whatever. So it's a huge.
And you can't tell. You can't tell. Like I'm sure there's people listening that are like, you know what? I go to the strip club. I know a stripper, and she's not being trafficked. She might not have a pimp, but it's that culture that you're perpetrating. I understand where you're getting at.
But I promise you, Ryan, none of them was women are love. Sometime in their life, they wasn't loved. They don't like what they do. I promise you, they gotta drink, they gotta do drugs. They don't like they're not proud of what they do. You know what I'm saying? So are you proud of what you do? You proud of what you work? They're not proud. They want to build a family. Women, I always say that women are made to be loved, and men are made to love a woman. But unfortunately, man is being what? They being the man thing. The mentality of a man is always like, I can have many women I can.
Yeah.
They being prostituting themselves. Now the women are doing the same thing, and now we have a sick society that they don't understand what love is. They just know sex. They don't know love, but they know sex. And
Good point.
I always tell a kid, when you're born, you cannot choose your parents. So many people that will be hearing us today, they say, man, I couldn't, if I could choose my parents, and I'll be honest with you, if you can choose your parents, a lot of things if you can choose, maybe you will not choose your parents. You'll be able to choose other ones, but maybe them in another body. You know what I'm saying? You would choose them. I would say I would choose my mom to be another mom. I would choose my father to be like that father. You know what I'm saying? You want to change something, but you can't change. But you can choose your partner. You can choose your spouse. So the problem is, like, we're building a very sick family right now, and a sick society, because I always said sex is one thing, love is totally different. So love,
Yep.
it's sex, but with respect, with care, with cautions, with principles. Unfortunately, we live in a very sick society right now.
And we do indeed. And to those people that are out there that might not realize what it is they're doing, this is really eye-opening stuff, Vitor. And these conversations don't happen on television all the time and on the right television shows. You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't hear this until I literally went out of my way to flood my mind with knowledge. I didn't know like a fifth of any of the stuff that we've been talking about over the past episode of this broadcast.
Yeah.
So
every time, Ryan, every time when we choose to go on that route, we are just destroying. Every time, like I said, you gotta be careful when you go out, when you go to a bar, when you go to you gotta keep your eyes open, because they're everywhere. These women's are everywhere. The pedophiles everywhere. They're everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Unfortunately,
it's crazy. And you see the list. Like, there's the website you can go to, and that doesn't even do it justice. We spoke a little earlier too about the punishment not fitting the crime, and we could bring the mistreatment of minorities into this, and that's goes without saying. But just the fact that some of these guys only get under 10 years for some of these acts and deeds is just insane.
Heinous
it does
acts.
not chase people away from doing it. So,
Ryan, the Catholic Church, for example.
Yes.
Let's talking about sex trafficking. What about the Catholic Church?
yeah.
Look how much mess they mess, how many kids they mess. But so it's like this. How can we protect? How can we not bring to the light? We got to bring to the light. These people got to pay. They destroy the dreams of these kids forever. If you touch a little kid, you destroy their dream forever. You got to understand that. And this thing's getting more sick than ever. Unfortunately, we live in a very sick society. And what is a pedophile? Like, we teach our kids, the pedophile can be our parents.
Yeah.
Parents. So you got to watch out. We are teaching our kids now to protect themselves. It's all about prevention.
That's the key right there. And teach your kids so that they know what to look out for. So, a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of stuff that people should be going and looking at more. So, Vitor, where do you recommend they go? For the people that are listening right now, where can they go learn more, be informed, become aware of this situation?
That's why me and my wife start getting together with psychology. She wants to start creating prevention. So together for them, that's why I want to work so close with Coach Hue Jackson. I know we're going to do amazing things because we are winners. We think like a winner. So
yes.
Hue Jackson wants to win, and he suffer on his skin, someone on his family. So he's on this cause for good. So I can trust him. So I want to put Hue Jackson, Jocko. I want to put, I know that the team ballot, is together. I want to bring all these people that are supporting the fight against sex trafficking. I want to put them together and creating a protocol. Almost like, okay, how I should do it. I'm 7 years old. Or between these ages. How can I protect my family? I'm having a 1-year-old kid. What things I have to watch out? Like, you don't know, but your kids are being desensitized to all these images. So they're creating ways to get to kids in a way. So we have the Amber Alert, but we don't have the alert for social media. We need to have social media have to stop porn. Another day someone messaged me, hey, if you can do porn in the social media, how you can accept that? You cannot.
Yeah.
So I know it's a huge industry. People monetizing a lot, but we got to remember, it's worth to be wealthy, rich, and go to hell. It's worth, seriously, because if you don't think you're supporting this stuff, you think you're going to heaven. How can you worship Jesus? How can you worship God and consume porn?
Oh, you're going to hell.
You're gonna have. So a lot of people are living in hell, think they're in heaven. So you got to watch out with yourself. So I always say, you cannot help if you don't help yourself first.
I mean, who doesn't feel ashamed after that, too? I mean, like, who watches porn and then feels good about themselves? Ask yourself that if you're listening.
I literally, I admire guys that are honest. I admire. I may not agree with them, but a lot of people play fake 007. They are like the 007 whatever. They're trying to marry, have family, and be a double agent. If you want to be a humanizer, go ahead, go be it. But don't pretend you're a family man. Don't pretend you are. Oh, I like to help. I like to go to church on the Sunday.
Just be outright about it, so we could beat you down. We'll stick Vitor on you.
Yeah. So be black or white. Don't try to be gray. A lot of people are on the gray right now. So that's the problem. We're giving options. Some things in life you cannot give options. So if you say, Victor, how can we stop sex trafficking? Stop porn. Number one, stop porn. You stop the growth of sex trafficking right away. Stop all kinds of porn. And if you want to consume, black label. And if you're selling porn, slaves, I'm selling a slave sex movie. It is not porn anymore. It's slave sex industry. That's it. Because they are a slave. They're not doing that because they love. They're not proud for what they do. They do because of the money. So they're slave of sex. Slave of sex. That's what they do.
They're not doing it for free.
No, they're slave.
And once again, we've had porn stars on the show, and a lot of them are feminists, and some of them might not feel like they are a slave per se. You know what I mean? That they are doing this out of their own merit and out of their own choice. But it goes deeper than that. Like you said, it's this like consumption of sex, and it's the culture of it, which is dangerous and then leads to other people or to people going down these darker alleys and other things happening. So, but it really comes down to freedom of choice. And as long as whoever it is that's choosing to do it is doing it freely and without any type of mental manipulation or control.
It's simple. It's very simple. It's this. Are you proud of yourself? When you build your kids, you're going to be proud of your kids. I mean, I'm not saying that the people are bad. I mean, everybody is bad, including myself. What made me good? I want to become good. So I'm working to become good. So I'm in work progress. But if I don't watch myself, I'm just as bad as you. It's just the power of a choice. We're choosing the wrong stuff, choosing what you see, what you do. It's all about actions. So, and that being said, right now we're going through the realm of this. We're trying to analyze and trying to make things. One thing in America that I don't like it, I really hate it, is this. It's just business. They screw you up. They just do bad things for you, and they look in your eyes and say, Victor, it was just business. Come on, man. So people here in America, it's like and that being now is against America himself. It's like that thing that's just business. You can understand, what is your business? Your business comes with your principles. What you do, the purpose of your business is very important. So if you don't have a purpose, why are you doing this business for? That's simple. It's just money. Okay, go work for stock market. That's it. They don't have any emotion.
Very
but
true.
Unfortunately, we got to be honest in what we do. What do you do? You like what you do? You can go home and say, man, hey son, look what I did today. I lay out with 20 men. She's not proud of that. I sold my body. It was so good. Today I feel so good. No, they feel bad. They feel unloved. They feel so we need to help these people.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to help them. So that's the whole thing. We don't have, if you say, what's your dream? My dream is to be able to bring the prevention first. And then after we have prevention on point, how can we help those that are being affected?
Yeah, that's why I like the protocol. The protocol.
Yes, you got to have a protocol. That's why I like when I talked to Hue Jackson, he said, Coach, you're a winner. He knows how to win. He have a protocol to win. You don't win all the time, but when you don't win, you learn.
Yep.
And progress. And that's what I want.
It's a good point, Vitor. And once again, to the people that are out there listening, Vitor Belfort is here, MMA legend, champion, not the guy that you'd want to cross.
No.
Not the guy that you
No
want to
way.
do dastardly bad things in front of. That being said, Vitor, before we do want to plug what you have going on, your social media. Is there where can they find you? Is there like a website where they can learn more that you're directed to?
So the Together for Them website, I think if you go on belfortlifestyle.com, that's my gym. And so every time a member signs in my gym, 10% of his income every month goes to the nonprofit.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
we are in ties. We are helping people in India. People that are dealing with this red district light. My friend is there right now rescuing more than 1,500 women, like 150 kids. He's taking out of the sex traffic industry. And people don't realize, man, this guy took a 4-year-old. She was raped, beaten to death. She was thrown in the trash. This 4-year-old lady, 4-year-old girl. She was used, consumed. They went to the trash. They call him, say, hey, if you want, go get it. She was in the trash. She got this woman. Today, this woman she's a teenager now. She's helping. She's worshiping God. But she still have trauma. So this guy is helping thousands of people in the red district light in South Asia. So we are working with a lot of people. And my dream is to, I don't care about what your nonprofit. I think we have, it's like this. People say, Victor, what church you go? I say, okay. It's like what team you go for. My church is Jesus. What about yours? What's your name of your church? So people trying to categorize everything, and they trying to wear a shirt. Come into my church. Your church is not. So how can we imagine if you put all the church together and working for family values? We will be blowing out in America. Yeah. But unfortunately, the churches are losing because they cannot get together. They cannot work together.
Separation of church and church. Crazy.
So that's why sin always wins, because sin work together. Sin is, they don't care. You're a sin. Let's go. Let's do it. So right now we're having a weak society because we cannot work as a team, as family values. What make America great? What make this country great that everybody wants to come and live? It's what make America. It's what? Family values.
Yep.
Let's create these values and let's try to become better. And I think that's simple. It's not a complicated. My wife say, be simple, And
sometimes it is that simple. We appreciate you, Vitor, and your message. It's empowering, it's educational, and it's something that everybody that's listening should know. And hopefully
Everybody
we'll
should
go
know.
and do some more research on now. There is one question I'm going to ask you, though. I'm not going to let you get off the hook entirely. I heard some rumblings going on that you called out AEW's Chris Jericho for some type of action.
Yeah, Chris Jericho is he's a wimp. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to look for an easy route. He want to do the fake wrestling. I can do fake wrestling too, but I mean, I just trade some gloves. Let's at least put some action. Let people know that you can throw some action.
He's not gonna like that, Vitor. These guys really don't like it when you call them out like that.
Love that.
The professional wrestlers, that's like their pet peeve. Well, it's more reason for him to step in the ring with you. Hopefully that'll encourage him.
I'm not gonna kick him. Just punch. At least show me some huevos.
Nice.
Vitor,
so
I just want to
appreciate you guys, and the most important thing, I want to finish with this. The most important thing, I think, comes down to one word called love. If you love yourself, you're not gonna do bad stuff for others. When you love yourself, you're not gonna sell yourself. When you love yourself, you don't need to be loved by others. A lot of women and a lot of men, they want to be loved, and they want to be loved to so many people, and they end up being hurt. End up being hurt. So if you are now listening to me, and I'm not here to, I'm not carrying. I just wanted to say one thing. I'm in for all. For me, it's all human. We all human. When people say, "What's your race?" I say, "Human." What's your gender? I'm a man. So you born a girl or you born a boy. And then you learn how to deal with yourself, be loving yourself. The problem is like when you're born, you depending on others, but comes to a point that right now we're trying to, a lot of people are trying to bring sex to teach for young kids. You cannot, you don't have the age to learn that. That's the problem. I don't like what a lot of politicians trying to pass the law of this. No, when you're a teenager, you don't know anything. You got to learn.
Yeah.
The problem when you're not, people don't teach you right. Yeah. So everything's start with you, loving you. When you love you, you'll be able to share the same love that you love you. You're going to love others. The reason we live in this crisis, because people hate themselves. And that's what we do. We live in a very hateful world right now.
Love is love, everybody. And if you're guided by love, and if your heart is in the right place, then you should do right by others. Vitor, thank you.
And love has a name. Love has a name, has a savior. Jesus taught the humankind to be loved. Unfortunately, and then we have all the religions too that understand that principle is the same. The same love, it's in every religion. Unfortunately, when you put religion in point, religion is just like politicians. They're trying to benefit themselves. So I believe in relationship. If we have healthy relationships, we're going to have a healthy society.
Take notes, everybody. Love is love. Vitor Belfort, Kim Diemert, and Mac Daddy joining Hams, Dave, and myself, your host, Ryan Vernell. Be sure to follow Vitor. Vitor, where can they find you on Instagram?
It's at Vitor Belfort, Vitor. It's Vitor, we know Victor, but no C. So just Vitor Belfort.
That's all.
B-E-L-F-O-R-T.
Spell it the right way, and you'll find the page. I want to thank you again, Vitor. Very informational, and it's coming from a really genuine place, which I'm sure all the listeners can hear, obviously. And, you know, it's not easy to speak up on these things. So, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Appreciate you, Vitor.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Vitor, thank you very much. Kim, Nick, this is The Ryan Show FM, and we will return.
1, 2, get down.
Cooler ruler. Divine,